Good morning, Rabbi Sai. How is everybody doing? Today's shir is being sponsored by Yuval Kavosh. Li'ilu Nishmas Yosef ben Rachamim. The neshama should have an aliyah dedicated to the Rabinowitz clan. This is sponsored by Alan Rabinowitz. Dr. Alan Rabinowitz came to Eretz Yisrael. He had to sit in Bidud for 2 weeks. And then after that, he sat in our base medrash every day by himself or with Levi Freeman watching the shir. So he's dedicating to the Rabinowitz clan in RBS in Toronto. We should all be zoicha to make aliyah soon. And l'refuah shleima of Liora Hadassah Bas Rachel Sheva. So, this is from Yuval Kavosh. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I've been listening to your 8-minute daf lectures, which are awesome. So, by the way, if you're from Dallas, Texas, you should look up Shmuel Hirschkowitz and Larry Kozowski. I guess they're doing something, but at least they send us a nice video, a very cool video. So look them up if you're from Dallas. After witnessing the 13th team at MetLife Stadium, I felt it was my chance to start Shas of Klal Yisrael. I wanted to join Klal Yisrael on a new journey, Shas. It was going to be my first time learning Talmud. And I was extremely nervous. I was reading each daf with the Torah partner I have, but I was slow in grasping the concepts and lessons. Yes, it does take some time. Then my Torah partner told me about the 8-minute daf. I love that you incorporate visual images and concise the daf into 8 minutes, which helps me tremendously. Lately, I can keep up with your hour-long daf class via Zoom. You're a true inspiration for Torah learning, and may Hashem give you Sheva brachas. You truly deserve it. His father tragically passed away 2 years ago in Dallas, Texas. Luckily, we were able to bury him in Israel. His yard site is today. My family and I are planning to go and see his kever. We cannot travel to Israel due to the global pandemic. I want to just read a couple of emails that have to do with this amazing siyum coming up. So, tomorrow is the final day of Masechta Shabbos. Are we going to miss it? By the way, I hope somebody is monitoring YouTube because my wife's phone is out of data. I'm using my phone, which never worked, but miraculously it's working this morning. So I hope it doesn't just shut off in the middle. So let me know. Somebody like, I don't know, Gary or somebody, please monitor it. And if it goes down, give me the sign, please. Shkayach. Wow. What's pshat that it's always 100, 0, 100, never above? Like, what's going on here? Oh, Shkayach 101. Somebody had to ruin it for me. 101 people on Zoom. Beautiful. So, last night, somebody sent me this Facebook post. I once went on Facebook many years ago when my friend's daughter drowned and she was still alive. So I went on there to see the. So I have a Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook in a very, very long time. I don't do Facebook. Akaponim. Some guy sent me this. This is from Donnie Fine. Why am I reading this? Because we have social media. We have WhatsApp. We have some of us have Facebook and I don't know what, Instagram. So why don't we just use it for the right thing? We're starting a new Masechta on Tuesday. Eruvin starts Tuesday. So with social media, we could bring people into Torah that never learned Torah before. I don't care. It doesn't have to be my shir. Send them to Shirley Bornstein. I don't care. Send them to Rosner, to Elephant, to OU. Who cares? Let them learn Torah. Tell them about Torah. As we approach the end of the previous Daf Yomi last December, I decided it was time for me to jump on, says Donnie Fine. And Donnie Fine remembers father Tzvi Fine, who's 75, just started learning. So Donnie, listen to the schus Donnie has. He got his father to learn Torah, and now he's trying to get his friends to learn Torah. All it takes, take this guy's thing, put your own words in and send it out. 3 minutes and you get other people to join. It's a no-brainer. I knew I found something special when I joined Eli Stefansky American Daf Yomi, passing me the words first purpose-built Daf Yomi Center. It's a great shit and great chaver, not only people that attend live, but the ones who watch the live stream on YouTube. I'm now Daf Yomi regular, and my learning has immeasurably changed for the better. Then Corona hit. Unfortunately, we can no longer attend MDY, but the share moved on to Zoom. Now there's even a bigger chevra in 6 continents, something like 50 countries. People write in to share stories and comments, and they read some of the emails before the share. It's just a special group of people, and you should be part of it. On Tuesday, we'll be starting Masechtas Eruvin. I would like to encourage you to join us. It's live at 7:45 a.m. Israel time. 7:15 he means. And again at 9:45 p.m. 9:15 p.m. Lamashane, so you got that wrong. But you know what? You got the Masechta right and you got the date right. That's what counts here. You can join one of the Zoom Shurim live or YouTube at any time. There are people from all stripes and backgrounds in this group, so you'll fit right in and increase your Torah knowledge and social network. Please join. Beautiful. It's an opportunity for everybody. Take this. Copy it. I know you can't really see it. I get it. Maybe Yoshua will send you this other guy, Labato from Edgware in England. He also put something on. He's going crazy, sending it out on his groups, and he's advertising. Has a nice lashon. If you get one guy to join, you share in his chusim forever. Shas, Rabbi Isai. One more. Meir Finger. Now, Meir Finger is that kid. He's a married guy. I just found out that I put his video onto the screen the other day. I said this guy had a cool video. Hi Rebelli, I was very surprised to see my video featured. I'm honored. Your henchman, Yeshua, is harassing me for my location. For some reason, the word harassing and Yeshua go together a lot. I don't know. But we said he's number one recruiter. Now's the tricky. Oh, what's his location? Now, that's a tricky question since my wife and I, my newborn son and I, are always on the run. And I hope you're reading this email. I can use your MDY Amazing Network to my advantage. My wife and I have been around USA, California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, looking for a community to sell in. Have yet to find a welcoming, affordable community. He's looking for something small, something that he can help grow. If anyone in MDY would like a young family to join and build their small community, please let me know. Baltimore is off, he said. And Israel is off for now. Little picky, the guy. He wants something smaller than Baltimore. He said Baltimore is way too big. On a side note, and most importantly, I missed from Daf and Brachas 43 and got back on track in Shabbos Daf 93. So you missed 50 Daf and Shabbos, I guess. I don't know, whatever, you do the math. From Brachas, Shabbos, it's a little interesting here. By doing about 2-3 Daf, and Kar Day Daf, I just finished Brachas. And I'm up to Daf 4 in Shabbos. So there's hope if you're like me, and you feel like you cannot continue, if you missed part of it, Meir Finger, and he leaves me his phone number. I don't know if I want to say his phone number online. P.S. Your personal stories keep me going. Please keep sharing. All right. Point is like this. Let's do Chazara. If you fell behind, and if you didn't do Masechta Shabbos at all, or you did 20 dafim, lo mishana. On Tuesday we're starting Eruvin. Let's start Eruvin. Whatever you missed. You'll make up. Either like Mr. Meir Finger, you'll do 5 daf a day, 3 daf a day, or you won't make it up. Who cares? The bottom line is, you can go from Eruvin to the end of Shas. You know how much that is? We're just in the beginning. We're just half a year in. We have 7 years left. So because you miss a little bit of Shabbos, so you're going to give up 7 years. Doesn't make any sense. You write it down, like the guy made fun of it. You write it down, put it on the side. I missed from 23 to 93, 43 to whatever it is. And let's start Eruvin. So Eruvin starts on Tuesday. Tell your friends. Bring some more people in. It'll be Givaldic. Says the Gemara, holding Daf Kufnun Heyam and Beis. By the 2 dots, brand new sugyo. L'chaim. 2 daf left to Masechta Shabbos. It says in the Gemara, Mahalkitin l'Tarnagol, and that's what we learned in the Mishnah. You can force feed a Tarnagol. In my Gemara, beautifully, puts in brackets here, V'noisnin mayim lemursan, because that's the main part of the sugyo. I know your Gemara probably doesn't have it. You could put water into the bran. Bran. This is Mursan. You see, it's kind of thick stuff. Think about raisin bran. Bran. Now, you put water into it, what happens? It's more like cereal than a dough. Omer Abai Amrita Kamei the Mar. I told this to my Rebbe. Who's his Rebbe? Rav Yosef. Masnisim Mani. Who does our Mishnah go like? Omer Ali. Rabbi Yosef Bar Yehudi. Because we're going to have a machloikis when it comes to Gibel. When it comes to this Malacha, this guy in the corner. You see, kneading. Here's the chicken. You're allowed to feed the chicken. You're allowed to knead it. Kneading has 2 things. First, you mix the ingredients. Whatever the ingredients, let's say flour and water. That's step 1. Step 2 is to mix it up. So we have a machlokes if you're over right away on step one by mixing the ingredients without even mixing it, just putting water into flour, or perhaps you need a second step, which is also to knead it. Says the Gemara over here, we see Masnisamani. If one guy, Ruvain, puts in flour, second guy, Shimon, puts in water, Rebbe holds that the second guy is chayiv by putting in the ingredient. So our Mishnah goes, according to Rebbe Yehuda, it says you're allowed to put the water in to the bran. It doesn't say mixing. You're allowed to put water. In other words, our Mishnah goes according to the Mandama that holds that you're not chayiv until you mix it. He didn't mix it, he's potter even though he put the water into the bran. Says the Gemara, who told you? Maybe when there's something that you could mix like dough, you're mixing water with flour and it becomes nice and gooey. So over there you have machlokes. You have to mix it, not mix it. Water's not enough, it is enough. But when it comes to this bran stuff, this is not going to mix anyway. Look at this. What are you going to do here? You're going to make cement? What are you doing? Cereal. Maybe Rabbi Yosef Yehuda agrees. Since it's not kneadable, you can't knead it. So therefore, by pouring water onto the bran itself, that itself makes it asur. The Tanya behedya. I can't say this when there's a mafurish brayse against what I just said. It says, you don't put water into the mursan to be Rebbe. Rabbi Yosef Yehuda Omer. Noisnin mayim lemursan. Look, there's a lamed here. Lamed indicates that that's the halacha. Shulchan Aruch, at least, the most Rishonim passing like this. Noisnim mayim lemursan. You could put the water, even when it comes to something as thick as bran, you could put water in it, and you're not over. So it's a type of thing that it's not kneadable. Not kneadable doesn't matter. You don't have to knead it, and if you put water on it, you're not over. So it comes out that there's no way in the world to knead bran, according to this. And that's how we pass it. So you could take water, put it in the bran, and even knead it. Go like this. You didn't do anything. Because kneading it, there's no kneading in bran. And adding water is okay. So you're not over anything. Shalom Aleichem Judah. Every time you see Judah, Rabbi say Shalom Aleichem to him, tell him how much we miss him, tell him that Erevin is starting on Tuesday. We don't just want to see him on Sundays. Even Shloimi Klein comes every single day for the last 5 minutes of this year. So you who live next door to me, you certainly could come. Even your son, the kids, sir, bring the whole olam. Talking about your son, I know that these guys, Birkas Mordechai doesn't have yeshiva for 6 months already. These Bacharim, I don't care. Bring them, tell them to learn Torah. Daf is better than nothing. Starting Erevin, tell these yeshiva guys, we're starting Erevin. Come on board. You'll be in Am Haaretz for a few months. Better than to watch movies all day. Trust me. Tanur Rabbanon. You'll be I shouldn't say Amor, you'll be a balabas, but nebach. They'd rather not be a balabas and watch movies all day than to be a balabas. It's crazy. What's this kali? Kali, you take the wheat and you dry heat it, you make it nice, says Rashi, it becomes nice and sweet. You toast it. Toasted curls. I just got the thumbs up from Eli because I said the wrong. You toast the grain, toasted grain. Okay, fine. It's like cereal. Going back to the sugi of cereal. And by toasting it, says Rashi, you bring out the sweetness. It becomes motoik midvash, mosoik midvash. What do you do to it? Now, you can take these kernels and make something called shasisa, which we're going to see in a second. Which is what? Shasisa, you add some oil, you add some water, some salt, and it becomes shasisa. Now, the Gemara is going to tell us, that's what Rashi says here. The Gemara later on says you also add some vinegar to it. Okay, geshmak is cereal. Ein goivlim sakoli. V'yashoimrim goivlim. So, the Tanakhama says you shouldn't knead it. Meaning, you're talking about toasted grain. Could you knead grain? You're going to make a dough out of it? You can't do anything with it. It's cereal. It's hard like anything. V'yashoimrim goivlim. And some say it's nothing. It's mutter. It's mutter to knead. That's what they're saying. What does it mean, goivlin? You could sit and knead it all day long. You're not over anything. It's toasted grain, for goodness sakes. You can't do anything with it. Omer Rav Chizda. So, asking more, Manya Shoimrim, who's this man that says it's mutter to knead it? Daf Kufnum Vav Amid Aleph, sponsored by Eli Deichman. Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yudi, V'hademili hu demeshani. So Rabbi Yosef Yehuda is the one that holds that you're permitted to put water on this tough stuff because you're not needing it. And Memela says the Gemara, but on one condition, try to make some sort of shinui, do it differently. Boy said, if you have some time now, we're going to get to Sugya soon. We're doing a beautiful Agada today. So try to find out what day you were born. It's interesting stuff. What day you were born, and better yet, what mazel were you born on? Because the day is divided by hours, 7 hours. Find out if you are, Avi Factor, Shalom Aleichem, how you doing? Dr. Factor. Joe Koenig. I get the of Shabbos. I discovered Yeshir by Corona time, loved it since. You got an interesting way of giving a shir. I'd like to give a shout out to Dr. Avi Factor from his friends at High Tech Auto in Spring Valley. Thanks. Keep up the good work. A Freilichen Shabbos. Why do I read these emails? I read it. A big part of the emails is because we have so many people watching Baruch Hashem, and I want them to all be involved. So the guy from High Tech Auto, now he's involved. That's it. You got a shout out. Avi Factor, you got a shout out. I spoke about Avi Factor 16 times in the last 2 weeks. I don't know if he was on at all. Different things. When we're talking about the Brits, we're talking about this, different things. Russia, Brissim in Russia. Fine. Says the Gemara, but you have to do a shini. Heichim Yishani. How do you do a shini? Omer Rav Chizda. Al yad. You do it slowly. Slowly. In the weekday, you just throw in all this toasted grain. You do it slow. You do it slow. Then you could add water to it. You're not over on gibul, on kneading. V'shavin, listen to this. V'shavin, shaboy chashin, it's a shatis b'Shabbos. Everybody agrees that you can take shatis and start mixing it up. But we just said you can't. There's a machlokes. Tanakama says you can't. Ain't goyvelim is a koli. Here it says, you're allowed to. You're allowed to take shatis, water, vinegar, oil, mix it all up. V'shoisim zeisum hamitzri. Zeisum hamitzri is some sort of, we had it in the beginning, not in the beginning, we had it maybe a month ago, 2 months ago. It's a sort of beer that sometimes people drink it for refuah, but you can drink it as is also. So you're allowed to drink it because it's not really a refuah. V'amris ein goyvlim. A second ago you said, Manda Omer says, you're not allowed to knead it. You tell me, l'kula you're allowed to knead it. Like Hashi. Ha ba'ava. Ha birako. What would you think? The thick one you're allowed to knead or not allowed to? What's a more of a kneading? Very thick or very thin? Says Rashi, the thick one, the opposite of what we would think. I would think the opposite. Thick one is usher to knead. Very thin, it's like liquid. So you're not really kneading much. Kneading is like making dough, something thick, like a bread. Raka, it's so thin, it's like beer, like a very thin consistency. Then that you are permitted to knead. But you have to make some sort of something different than you do during the weekday. In the weekday, first you put in the vinegar on the bottom, and then you put all the other ingredients on top. Shabbos, I know, I'm not a big chef. I know how to make scrambled eggs. But I seen the cookbooks, they always say, put this in first. It probably makes some sort of a difference what you put in first. Maybe it tastes a little different. And the Gemara says, I don't care if it tastes different. Do it differently. Put in all the ingredients first, then put in the other one. Levi, Berei de Rav Huna bar Chio, Ashkechel Gabola de Beinoshe. Gewaldige Maisa. This just doesn't fit into our Americanish Western society head. We can't wrap our head around the story. So Levi pops in. Who is Levi? The son of Rav Huna bar Chio. He finds the guy in charge of his father's animals. And the guy in charge of his father's animals is making food for the animals on Shabbos. With a shinoi. He's being careful. He did a shinoi. He put in the ingredients backwards. But he was kneading. He was sitting and kneading the stuff. What does he do? Botash bey. He gave him a gezunte kick. There's no talking now. There's no, hey, Rabbi Yid, you gotta, maybe it's Chil Shabbos. Give him a kick. Threw him across the room. Chil Shabbos, what are you, crazy? If I didn't walk in on you, you're going to be doing this on my father's animals for the rest of your life. What's going on here? Kick him. Look, the Gemara. If you went to Minkach, you understand this. It makes a lot of sense. Says the Gemara, Osa avu de ashkechei. So his father, who's his father? Rav Huna bar Yechia comes in. He sees the guy, he's spread out on the floor like this, just got a gezunta kick. What's wrong with you? Why are you kicking the guy? Your grandfather, your mother's father, Mishmei the Rav, said in the name of Rav, Umana Reb Yirmiyah bar Abba, you're allowed to knead, but don't force feed it. Now, don't force it all the way down to a point where the animal, yesterday we had a whole discussion, what's force feeding? To a point where the animal can't bring it back up, to a point he could. Over here we're saying, don't do it so deep down that he can't bring it back up. And an animal who is not good at eating, like a newborn calf, malkitinle. So that is, you could put it into his mouth, not very deep. That's only in a condition that you make some sort of shinui. What's the shinui? We had this, I brought this down when we were talking about tuna fish. On Shabbos, you should do shesi ve'erev. Make an X. Instead of mashing it into the mayonnaise, you go, it's tchina, it's all these things the Mishnah Berurah brings down. This way and that way. The only big problem I have is Rashi. Look at Rashi, Dibra Maskal Shesi Ve'erev, and tell me how you learn Rashi. Rashi Dibra Maskal Shesi Ve'erev, I don't know, 12 lines down, let's call it. Shesi Ve'erev, Pam Achas Moilech Hamakil Shesi, Upam Achas Erev. Rashi seems to be saying you only do it once in each direction. You could learn Rashi that you do it once Shesi, once Erev, and then you go one Shesi, one Erev, one Shesi, one Erev, one Shesi, one Erev. But that's not how the Shulchan Aruch learns Rashi. So, the Beis Yosef. The Beis Yosef learns Rashi literally, that it's one time, you have a one-time thing. You go once, twice, Shalom Yisrael. The Rambam does not learn like that. The Rambam learns that it's many times. Okay? So when I was learning the Mishnah Berurah, and he says Shasi Ve'erev, I thought he meant then, and I could be completely wrong, because maybe we go like Rashi, that Shasi means only one time in an X. You get one X. This way and that way, and that's it. You can't just continue doing X's. Says the Gemara, V'lo Ma'ariv Shapir. Rashi, this learning in Rashi kind of fits into the Gemara here. Because the Gemara says, but it doesn't mix well. Well, why not? If you're doing it 100 times, it should mix. So the Gemara understands, maybe that's why the Beis Yosef understood in Rashi, that's only one time. V'lo Ma'ariv Shapir. Om Rabbi Yehuda min Ari Likli. You mix it by transferring it to another kli. Fine. Omer Rabbi Yehuda. Yeah, sorry. Minar Likli. Kosev Abin Kosev Deziri. This is going to lead us into the Agadata, because it says, I believe, that they're reading off these tablets, notebooks, that the old-fashioned notebooks, big pieces of a board that you can inscribe on it. So it says on the Pinkos of Zeiri, they read it, Amris Kodem Rebbe. I said in front of my Rebbe, Umanu, and who's my Rebbe? Rebbe Chia, Ma'al Gabel. What's the halacha of kneading a thick mixture? Omar Asur. He said it's Asur. Ma'al Fareg. What about transferring it from one vessel to another, and that will cause it to mix? Omar Mutter. That's not the way to do it, I guess. That's in the weekday you don't pour it from one dli to another. So it says mutter. Omer Rabbi Menashe. Chad kami chad, to give enough food to one animal, one pail worth to one animal. In other words, one portion. Let's say an animal eats one pail, I give it to one animal, that's great. Trey kami trey, 2 portions worth in front of 2 animals, shaper dami. Tlas kami trey, but to give 3 portions of food to 2 animals, asur. Why is that asur? Tirchi Yisera. You're working too hard on Shabbos. You're not allowed to work harder than you need. Rabbi Yosef Omar, it doesn't matter. Give as much as you want. Yesterday we say kur is a tremendous amount of food. It's the size of a trough. That's what he gave his camel, 1 kur to eat. He saw an Arab giving a camel a kur. In other words, it's a huge amount, 144 eggs worth, big amount. Vafilu kurayim, even 2 times the amount, 188, 288. Lamashana, ksiva pinkas of the Levi. It says in the notebook of Levi, Amris Kodem Rebbe. So whose notebook is it? Levi's. I said in front of Rebbe, Umanu, Rabbeinu HaKadosh. This is the real Rebbe, the famous Rebbe. Rabbeinu HaKadosh. Adahavu Govlin, Shatisa Bebavel. These people that would mix their shatisa, what shatisa? That mixture of toasted grain with the oil, with the vinegar. Vavet Savach Rebbe, and would scream. Umanu Rabbeinu HaKadosh, and just going over his name. Rabbeinu HaKadosh would scream and yell. He'd carry out and tell people, don't do it. I'll have a go in Shatisa. Nobody listened to him. He had no power to make it also. Why? And we actually paskin like Rabbi Yosef Yehuda. We said that's a halacha. You're allowed to. So if you do it with a shinoi, the halacha is like Rabbi Yosef. So Mela, nobody listened to him. Here goes that guy to Rabbi Yisai. Nice way of finishing off the Masechta. Ksiva ben Kassider Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. When I moved to Chicago, there was a kid in our shul. I don't want to mention his name. Everybody in Chicago knows this kid in Lincolnwood. He must have been, 4 or 5 years old. In my mind, he was that young. I can do the math later on, but he was very, very young. And people told me, you go over to this kid, you tell him the date of birth, your date of birth, he'll tell you what day of the week he was born. I went over to him. I told him the date of birth, and within 30 seconds, he told me, you were born on a Tuesday. He's right. I was born on a Tuesday. His father told him he's not allowed to do it anymore, but it's like a savant. Like he had a kishrin for this, like a mishunadik kishrin. His brothers are like that also, I think, but maybe socially he's a little different. Says the Gemara, if you're born on a Sunday, the Gemara goes away from this basically, but this is the Havamin of the Gemara, according to Levi, this is how it is. If you're born on a Sunday, you're going to have one nature and one nature only. What does it mean? You're not even going to have one good thing. What do you mean? You only have one nature and one. I was born on a Sunday. Rav Ashi had many different things going on for him. Elav chada levishu. You're going to only have bad. V'omer Rav Ashi anovadimi bar kokozoito havim b'chav b'shabbat. We both were born on Sunday. Now Sunday is the first day of creation. So for the first day of creation, you're like the king of everything. So Ana Melech. Therefore, I am the king. I'm Rav Ashi. I wrote Shas. And he was actually the king of the Ganavim. He was a head thief. Hello. So I don't have bad. I'm kulei good or kulei bad. But where does it come in? This memra. Ella yikulei letivo yikulei levishu. So you're either all good or all bad. You see, not like that? Okay, it's supposed to be like that. If you're born on a Monday, you're going to be a mad person, always angry. My time, because that's the day that the waters split. So, says Rashi, you don't have a lot of friends. You split, water's here, you're there, your friends are there. Hope you weren't born on a Monday. That's me, Hashem Yirachim. You'll be wealthy. You'll be a big noyef. Hashem Yirachim. My timer. Well, you have to understand this Gemara. What? Everybody's born on Tuesday is wealthy. Everybody's born on Tuesday is a noyef. My timer mishum the ibru asavim, because that's the day that the grass grew, so it grows out of control. You accumulate wealth. You accumulate averis, znus. If you're born on a Wednesday, this seems like a good day to be born on Wednesday. You'll be smart, you'll light up the world. That's the day of the sun and the moon. If you're born on Thursday, my time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was mischased with the birds and with the fish. They have no problem getting mizonos. They have food. You never see a malnourished fish. They have food everywhere. Birds are always well fed. Good to go. It's chesed HaKadosh Baruch Hu did with the birds and the fish. So if you're born on the day with the chesed, you're about chesed. If you're born on Friday, yegvar chazron. You're always going to look after stuff. You're always looking for new mitzvahs to do. You're the guy that puts up the posters. You want to do pidyon chamar, all that stuff. That's you. If you're born on Shabbos, yehei b'Shabbos yomos. You're going to die on a Shabbos. Because of you, the Mechal Shabbos, which is very interesting. It's not Chil Shabbos to go to the hospital on Shabbos. There's no Shabbos for you. But the Gemara understands, you cause people to be Mechal Shabbos, your punishment, so to speak, your kapara, so to speak, is going to be that you're going to die on Shabbos. Many people were born on Shabbos and they don't die on Shabbos. So this I did see that they ask, and they say, well, you're supposed to die on Shabbos, but different things, different circumstances happen, you didn't die on Shabbos. So we need to explain this Gemara. It's not as clear cut as you see. Omer Rava bar Rav Shilo, v'kadisha Rabbi Yiskari. This guy, since he was born on such a holy day, he's a holy man. People are going to call him holy. Omer Rabbi Chanina, Puke Amor le Bar Levi. Says Rabbi Chanina, tell this Bar Levi, tell Rabbi Yeshua, right? That was his name, Yeshua ben Levi. Yeshua ben Levi. Tell your Rabbi Yeshua, the son of Levi. It's not the day that you're born on. Ella mazel sha'a goyim. Okay, so now this is a little bit more complicated. None of us know what mazel we're born on. You have to have that sheet that we had when we did the sugya of Mars and the 7 hours of Mars, and it comes out on Erev Pesach, 2 hours, whatever, that's sugya. Look it up, and you'll know what mazel may be. So first you have to go into the calendar and see what day you're born, and then find out what hour you're born, look at your birth certificate, then you know your mazel. Now this, similar stuff, and now this could be a little bit more interesting. El mazel shagar. Hi man de bechama. If you're born in the hour, so every day, every 7 hours, the mazel switches. And there's 7 mazalis. So you have to know what mazel you're born exactly. And if you're born in the sun's mazel, yehei gevar zifton. You're gonna shine like the sun. The sun gives off its own light, its own power, its own energy. So it takes from itself. It deals with, he is self-sufficient. He's going to eat his own food. But his secrets, there's no secrets by this guy. Whatever he does, everybody knows his business. I guess it's a bad thing. Like the sun, everybody sees the light of the sun. It can't hide itself. If he tries to steal, he's going to be a really bad ganav. All those guys in jail for stealing, they're all born with the mazel of the sun because they don't know how to steal. If you're in the star called Noiga, Venus, you're going to be rich. Okay, so like what we said before on Tuesday, this is the mazel of Venus. That's when the light of the world was created. If you are in Mercury, you'll light up and you'll be smart. Mishum, the Safar the Chamahu. He's not the sun, but he's the secretary of the sun. And the secretary of the sun benefits from the sun, gives off light. Haiman de Bilavana, but the moon is not very good. Yegvar Sovil Marin, he suffers a lot of bad stuff. Banoi v'saser, he's going to build and break it. Saser benoi, break and build. Achol delay delay, he eats which is not his because the moon only takes energy off the sun. V'shasi delay delay. And not only that, he gives off, basically drinks and he eats from other people, meaning not only that, Rashi says over here as well, that you see the moon come into the daytime. So he's hopping around, he's stealing. By the way, is YouTube still good, Rabbi Isai? Anybody? Good. Okay, thank you, Eli. So, sometimes you look up in the sky in the middle of the day, you see the moon. What is he doing there? He's stealing. So, you have that kind of mazel. But his secrets are kept secret. Nobody knows about his business. Like the moon, he could sneak away, nobody will know about it. Im gonev matzlich. And if he tries to steal, Baruch Hashem, he'll have atzlacha. Hayman div shabsoi. If he was born in the mazel of Saturn, yegvar mechshavtei betelin, whatever he tries to do is going to fly out the window. Vistamri called the mechashvin alei b'telim. Some people no. If you try to conspire against him, your machshavas are going to be batal. Haim bande b'tzedek. If you were born in the mazel of Jupiter, yehei gvar tzidkon. You're going to be do tzedek. What does that mean? You're going to give a lot of tzedakah. Haim bande b'madim. If your mazel is Mars, yehei gvar oshid dama. You're going to spill blood. What does that mean? Or Ravashi, iumana. Either you'll be a bloodletter, literally, so you'll take it to a good thing. You'll be a doctor, you'll take out blood. Iganava, you'll be a thief, but not just a thief that kills people, a real thief, a highway robber that kills people. Itabacha, or you'll be a shaykhet. Imayala, or you'll be a mayal. But you need to take it out on good stuff. Try not to be a ganim. Rabba, I know b'madmavi. Says Rabba, what are you talking about? I was born with the mazel of Mars. I'm not a shaykhet, I'm not a moyel, nothing. Amar Abaya, oh, you forgot. Marnami onish v'kotel. If people don't listen to what you have to say, you punish them. So you're a little bit into blood. But they say here, unbelievable. If you remember that famous story, Kam Rabba shachti Reb Zera. The famous Gemara that Rabba killed Reb Zera. They got drunk and he killed him, and then he davened for him. So he was a shtickle murderer. That's what Abai was trying to tell him. Not so fast, Rabba. It's explained well in Mars. Itmar Reb Chanina Omer. Mazel machki mazel mashir. You become wealthy through mazel. Mazel mashir, mazel machkim. You become smart through mazel. In other words, not going to help you to daven, says Reb Chanina. V'yesh mazel Yisrael. And tefillah is not going to help Klal Yisrael. Klal Yisrael as a whole, they have a certain mazel, they're going in a certain way. If they're destined to die, terrible gzeres, it's going to happen. That's it. Reb Yochanan comes along and says no. You can change it with tefillah. How do I know there's no mazel? Don't learn from the guy. You're different than the guy that has mazel. Don't fear the signs in heaven, the different mazalos. The goyim should be scared from them. They shall be fearful of the different mazalos and not you. Vavrav Sovar Emazal Yisrael and Rav also. So we have Rabbi Yochanan and we have Rav Baruch Hashem that say that you could undo your yes, there is a mazel. Certainly, there's a mazel. This is kechavim. People are destined to certain, but if you daven the right way, you can undo it. How do I know this? Baruch Hu took Avram Avinu outside. What does it mean outside? What's going on here? I can't give Yerusha to my own son. Lav, not true. Your own son, not Yishmael. Well, I looked up and I did stargazing. I know this stuff. I can have a son. Say. What does it mean? Say before. Go outside. Say means get away from this chachma that you have. Mazel Yisrael. You could undo your mazel. Yes, you're right. In the Kechavim it says this, but you can undo it. My daitoch. We're turning to Daf Kufnun Vav. Kufnun Vav in ways hard to turn the page. Hard. Sponsored by Shia Greenfield, who's on with us right now from New York, from Brooklyn. Rabbi say, go check him out. Give him, show him support. Show him that if you donate $1,000 to the share, you'll get 10 times, 100 times that amount. Green Star electrical contract. I don't care. I'm going to push his electrical contracting forever. The Koyi Tzedek B'Marov. Why? Because Jupiter. You're so worried about Jupiter, and Jupiter is in the west, and west is cold. Cold means you're not going to have children. Says Gemara, you think I can't change this? I'm going to take Jupiter, plug him out of the west, put him in the east where it's nice and hot. What does tzedek mean? We'll learn the pasuk tzedek. Tzidkis, tzedakah, tzedek. No, tzedek means Jupiter. Tzedek yikre'eyu l'ragloi. I took him and I put him in Mizrach. For l'ragloi, what is l'ragloi? to his feet, to Avram Avinu, for his purpose. Says the Gemara, don't worry about it. All we have to do is get to the Mishnah and we're good. Tomorrow's only one Amud and story time. Shmuel also holds there's no mazel. You could daven and undo it. Shmuel and this guy, says Rashi, we had him before in the Masechta, who was a stargazer and a very big chacham, but he was a guy. And they saw a bunch of people walking down to cut the reeds in the river, in the okay, you know what I'm talking about? Where the reeds grow by the water. Swamp. Thank you. Omer le'avle Shmuel, and Avle tells Shmuel, he told the guy, "Hi, Gavra Ozveli." He's showing him that he sees the stars. You see these guys? That one guy right over there in the Beketche, he's going down over there. He's never coming back. Says the Gemara, sorry. A snake is going to bite him and he's going to die. If the guy's Jewish, I'm telling you, he's different than what you see in the stars. So they're sitting down over there. Huh? He's sitting down and they see this Jew coming right back off the swamp. Come, Avlet. Avlet was furious. I said he's going to die. He takes off his bundle of reeds, opens it up. He finds a snake that's split in half. In other words, when the guy was cutting the reeds with the knife, he cut the snake in half. So Shmuel asked the Jew, with what were you zoicha? When you see a nest like that, Rabbi Isai, it has to be a schus. No time now for the story about the Chazon Ish, my favorite story about the Chazon Ish. He asked the guy, why were you zoicha? Fine. Amalei, different time. Kol yoy marminin rifto. But this is also one of my favorite stories. Here's a geschmack story. Every day, we would take our bread and put it together in a basket. This guy came with a bagel, this guy came with a bread. It wasn't fair that everybody should have we put it in a basket, lock pod, whatever it's called. You take from the basket. I noticed one of the people here, didn't have his own bread. I felt bad for him. I saw that he was being embarrassed. He's going to be embarrassed. I screamed. I told everybody, I'm in charge today. When I got to him, I pretended that I'm taking from him, but instead I put in my own bread. I wanted to prevent him from being embarrassed. Like the famous story of the Chofetz Chaim, who's sitting on the table, and the guy knocked over something, so he knocked it over on himself, whatever. Make the guy feel good. Shouldn't be embarrassed. Oh, that's a mitzvah that's deserving to save your life. The famous pasuk, says Shmuel, doesn't mean, what do you mean? Everybody dies. So to give tzedakah, you're not going to die. So I would say pshat is that if you're going to have a terrible death, the tzedakah is going to lessen the terrible death. No, says Shmuel. It's literal. It's tzedakah tatzah. You're supposed to die today. You're not going to die today. You're going to die a different time. It's literally going to save you from death. You see this concept also from Rabbi Akiva, the famous story of Rabbi Akiva and his daughter. The Rabbi Akiva, he had a daughter. The stargazer told him, the day of her marriage, terrible, the day of her chuppah, she's going to get bit by a snake and she's going to die. He was very worried about it. I think it means he davened a lot about it. Because you could change mazel with davening. That's why the Gemara tells us he was worried. Who cares if he's worried or not? He's worried because he davened. That's my own shot. Throw it out if you don't like it. That day, she took off her head pin. That's the beguda. She put it in the wall. It went right through the eye of the snake. In the morning, she's taking out her pin from her head, her head pin from the wall. Since it was stuck in a snake, she pulled out a dead snake. I need to know. And here you see another Yisod. Her father was the Galad Dar. Her father, the Gemara says, was maybe greater than Moshe Rabbeinu. He couldn't save her. Mayavat. What did you do to save yourself? So how does it fit in with my pshat? Maybe he davened so much that it gave her the schos to do something. I don't know. A poor person came. Kara Bava, he's knocking on the door. Help! I need food. It was the chas in the day. Everybody's running around like crazy, and who has time for a poor person? Nobody heard him. I took my portion, the athlete that I was given. I gave my entire portion to the poor person. Mitzvah, you did a tremendous mitzvah, which is going to save your life. Nafak, Rebbe Akiva, V'darash, and Rebbe Akiva went out and Darash, and the same thing. It doesn't mean that the tzedakah is going to save you from a terrible death, and it's going to give you a nice, comfortable, in your sleep, misas neshika death. It's actually going to save you from death. This Kala was supposed to die that day by her chuppah. She had a long life. And also from this Ma'aseh of Reb Nachman bar Yitzchok. The stargazer told his mother, your son, Reb Nachman bar Yitzchok, you hear this, the famous Reb Nachman, your son is going to be a Ganav. So what did she do? She had to undo it. She invented this concept of a yarmulke for a kid. It wasn't so shchiach then. Amrlei, and in fact the Shulchan Aruch brings this as one of the sources for yarmulke. Amrlei kasi reichach. Cover your head. You need to cover your head. What does the yarmulke do? We wear yarmulke all day. What does it do? To show that we have a separation between us and Hashem. Yerushalayim. Uboy rachamei, and she davened. Those two things. Or he should daven. Lo yahavi yoda amai kamerlei. But she never told him the secret. Yoim echad Yosef kagoris tute dikla. So he's learning Torah. Everything's grown great. Nofa glima milavei reishe, and his yarmulke falls off. Dali einei. He lifted up his head. Chazel ledikla. He notices he's under a palm tree. Almi yitzrei. Says the Gemara, look how much this yarmulke helped him. This yarmulke, in conjunction with tefillah, that moment that the yarmulke fell off, he went berserk. Solik paskeli kibayir b'shinei. He jumped up the tree and stole some dates. You see that if he wouldn't have had this protection, he would have been a ganav. That one moment that he didn't have a protection, some say he was a katan. Nah, before he's ill. But you see this idea that you could overcome the mazel. The mazel was ganav. Yes, it says in the stars. But if you do the right thing, you're able to overcome it. Rabbi Isai, tomorrow is the big siyum. We're finishing Masechet Shabbos. The real big siyum on Zoom is a week from today. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Shema Elohim Mamakim Tzich Adonai. Adonai, Shema Elohim Mamakim Shemrim laboiker. Chayis Adonai Kimdanei Achaz Babim Mefidos. V'Gdei Yisrael, Mikol Avon Yisrael Chem Yisrael, Anasim Yisrael V'Shiv Yochim D'Mim Bayom V'Misham Okim V'Chavim V'Mitzvim. Chayil Lo Yivah Mishum L'Gula Ashtav B'Zim V'Kavri V'Nimar Omein. Shkoyach.
Goldstein, what are you in? Where are you?
Rabbi, how's everybody doing?
Go to the factory. Everyone's like Shabbos. He packs up things. Like the outside before.
I'm Victor. I love your background today.
It's the real one.
I was trying to figure out what's weird. I actually see what's behind you.
Fishel, how you doing? You ready to go to Sloof?
The last
Remark Steinberg, Shalom Aleichem. How are you? Who's talking? I don't know. Everybody's talking to each other. It's like it's just background noise. Background noise. Judah, it's great to see you. I'm telling you, it's great to see you. Steven Samperl, Yishkoyach for sending in the video. Very meaningful. Thank you. Who else? Yeah.
Eli,
Yeah.
I want to know, yesterday, by 11 minutes, when your dog started barking, was that quick when Steve was going to shear was still not dog?
Yesterday goes down as my least favorite cheer of all time.
Talk about dogs and your dog.
I know. I thought about it afterwards. I should have made a whole thing. I should have taken the dog and said, "Oh, it's Bedafka." Yeah.
It was perfectly orchestrated.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Shalom Aleichem, Yuval. How you doing? Neshama should have an aliyah.
Amen. Thank you again.
Where are you from? Yuval? Oh, Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas. So, do you have a place to go? Are you already set up for the Siyum in Dallas?
It was delayed.
I will still figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Okay. You got to see Bezer Hashem during the Siyum. You'll see these guys from Texas. They made a nice video, a funny one. Dallas, Texas, y'all. We have good beer. We have good barbecue. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Really any BBQ. We'll take any BBQ.
And good Torah. Good Torah. Yeah. Oh, Dr. Allen is on also. So we have our sponsors on. Shalom Aleichem, Dr. Allen. Yishkoyach on the sponsorship.
Thank you so much,
You're welcome. Shema should have an aliyah.
I know you said this thing is background.
Simon, I don't like what I see. I don't see you on a bike. It's not good.
Unbelievable seer. Amazing. Soaking up Shabbos. Tuesday will be Erevin.
Sorry, Ali.
Which one?
Have you been in the show? You just knew me.
You still always the story.
I've been on the show on YouTube.
The story about the Chazanish?
From Mevaser, man, long time.
That's right. I know who you are. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but he didn't WhatsApp me. Ari Reiser never WhatsApped me. Fold, get me his number.
I sent him information already. I gave him a video also. He's harassing me, but I'll send it back.
Roberta, have a great day, everybody.
Take care, Lauren.
That's
Who else is here?
Simple curiosity and technical question. You mentioned that you're having an issue with your wife's phone broadcasting to YouTube because it's out of data.
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing it through your house's internet?
I do it because it gets cut off. It's for some weird reason. It works. It starts working in the middle share, just cut out. It's not strong enough. The Wi-Fi is not. I don't know. It's not consistent. Mati, you've been on lately? Because I haven't seen you.
Yeah, I was on last night. Usually every other day.
I know, but the whole week before that. I don't want to put you on the spot, but listen. Okay, listen. It's okay. We start new start. Erevin. How many daf are you missing in Shabbos? 3, 4 daf? Come on, it's nothing. Let's go.
Every day.
Every day. Okay, good.
Friday and Shabbos lesson.
Every day.
Eli, you have to sit the order like this. Whoever skips, let's say, Bruchos or Shabbos, say that they're going to finish up. They won't finish it together with us in 7.5 years.
I know, I thought about it. You're 100% right. But I wasn't talking about that
They can make a single shot at the end of Shabbos.
100%. But I was also talking about, I thought about it before, Shir, exactly what you're saying, but I was talking about more people that started Shabbos. So they don't want to think about making a siyum later. They want to, in their mind, they started brachas with us, they're going to make a siyum with us. But they're missing 40 daf. What do you do then? Yeah, a person that starts Eruvin, and he knows he's going to do a siyum of Shabbos in Eruvin. He doesn't want to catch up. It's the people, it's the other people.